morning, Your Majesties. Welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome to day 9 of princmess. I can't believe it's day 9 already. Okay, this is a part 2 from the story that I told in yesterday's video. So if you haven't seen part 1 yet, I will leave a link down below. So, here we go. Okay, all right, dusk, December 25th, 2017. Okay, James dreaded Christmas. Nothing had gone right for him any other time of year. So why would things go well now? His soul typically optimistic when the holidays came in hopes of maybe getting a secret. A secret Santa. He shook his head. He had just gotten up from a nap. He put on his favorite pajamas. His short blonde hair did not need combing. He rubbed his blue eyes and made his way down the stairs. Aww. The living room presented a medium-sized Christmas tree, complete with lights, ornaments, and a star on top, but not a single gift. The floor was a mess. The place smelt of smoke and alcohol. That's not nice. His 50-year-old father sits in his leather recliner wearing a white tank top and shorts. His stomach hung out, his balding head and entire body dirty and unkempt. Really? The 14-year-old cleared his throat. Maybe he had caught his dad in a good mood. Hark, the Herald Angels sing played from the TV, the large choir sounding so angelic. The window facing the outside world getting covered in heavy snow. The wind could be faintly heard. The sky a pinkish color as the sun began its descent. James never quite spoke up loudly. He tried to keep his voice down as possible. Dad, are we going out for Christmas maybe? Mike the father stretched and went to the kitchen, nearly bumping into his son. Go to bed. You're not getting anything this year anyway. Are you for real? What? His voice cold and distant, his words slurred. He got nasty when he had too much booze. James sighed deeply, trying to keep his discomfort and depression pinned down. James knew his mother's death had taken a toll on his dad. Oh, fudge. I didn't say the real word. I didn't say the actual word. I just said fudge. So anyway, it was no secret he only liked her for her looks. Her having a kid was something Mike was never fond of. He chugged more of his liquor, standing looking coldly at his son. You're nothing but a nonsense. Oh, feeding you is a pain, waste of my money, but I kept you to keep your mom. What the? She was sexy. He paused and hiccuped. She should have had that abortion. What? Oh my God. That was the last straw for James. The cold comments, the nastiness, the vindictive heart. The teen threw on a pair of shoes, snatched his wallet, and headed out the front door. The cold was more inviting than the evil nature of his dad. Jesus Christ. Jeez. Okay. Water splashed the unsuspecting victim. After a few deep breaths, he gazed upon his abductor holding the wooden bucket. Norman was chained to a large rock wall. What? Krampus smiled and held the kid's cheeks tightly. Hello, Norman. Norman became pale. Let me go now. Krampus smiled. No. Walking to a large table setting beside the tied-up chair, he read, My boss tells me you've been quite naughty in school. He squirmed like all the other children had tried. He tried screaming loud as well. Looking around the lair, he saw the mutilated bodies of nasty children. The demon gave him a firm slap in the face. No. Shut the hell up. Where was I? He sighed deeply, eyeing the list again. I hear you dumped one of your classmates in the toilet at school. I also hear you made fun of a kid with autism on your way home from school. Norman's heart raced, and deep down he knew all of this to be true. I didn't do any of that. That was my friend. Kevin, please stop. Let me go. The demon laughed. You don't even know a Kevin. You dare lie to me? You piece of... I've been doing this for a long time. Just like Santa, I'm good at my job. Terror grew inside me, Norman. But he kept talking. Get Santa here. I bet he'd hate what you're doing. The creature grabbed Norman's throat. We're partners. Wow. Norman gasped for air. Krampus kept hold for a moment. As much as I love to disembowel you. Santa told me to give you a second chance, letting go. He glanced back at the tied victim, coughing violently. Norman almost felt a pang of relief that maybe he'd get off with just a verbal warning. I almost said warming. That is until the demon grabbed a large hammer from his sack. Norman felt worse pain he ever had in his life. His knees shattered. The sound of deep crack echoed through the lair. A token to remember by Norman. May my face haunt your nightmares as you lie in your hospital bed. No. Okay. Let's see. Walking through the dark town, snow began to fall and the wind became cold. James crossed his arms as the chill began to get to his bones. Glancing at houses, he admired the various decorations, reindeer, snowmen, and red and green lights wrapped around bushes and small trees. How desperately he wanted to knock on the door and be automatically invited in by a happy family, to have cookies and sit by a fireplace and talk of kindness and sing Christmas carols. Not one gift was given to him, and certainly didn't expect anything with his mind clouded by hopelessness. James walked down the cold sidewalk leading to a bar, hoping to find warmth. Okay. As Christmas carols came from the radio, James sat at the long table with a few other customers sat. He wasn't really old enough to drink. He got himself a hot chocolate. Sounds good. The bartender also grabbed him a warm blanket to wrap his shoulders around. The little act of kindness made James smile just a tiny bit. A little kindness can go a long way, he thought to himself. It's true. It's true. It really is. Okay, anyway. Out of the corner of his eye, sitting and far away from everyone else, he saw someone shrouded in darkness, someone that everyone seemed to stay away from, drinking schnapps and looking straight into a wall. The man was obviously huge. Something about him was also sort of fascinating to James. Never he had seen someone so tall. Shrugging his shoulders, he sat in silence for a bit. As the night went on, James sighed sadly and paid the bartender. It was time for him to go back to his awful life with his drunken dad. Another Christmas full of verbal abuse and darkness. He turned to leave, found himself into a soft, fluffy wall out of some sort. He staggered back and looked up to see the man he bumped into. His heart leaped into his throat as he eyed the man's hoofed feet, and all the way up to his devilish goat-like face. Krampus slowly turned to meet the young man's terrified gaze. Sorry, sir, his voice shaking, afraid that the demon would lash out at him and rip his heart out or something to the effect. Okay. He merely nodded. He recognized the boy. Norman was his bully in school, and it was no surprise to the demon. Finishing his drink, he spoke. Go home, James. I have no qualm with you. Backing away, James' voice shook. Wait, you're Mr. Krampus, aren't you? The tales of the demon were always spread, and James found the creature to be fascinating. He had met Santa a few times. Of course, Santa probably gave him gifts, but his dad most likely threw them out. Before James even knew they were there, Krampus handed James a small wrapped package. He then turned to leave. James followed behind as he pocketed the small item. Krampus went to his vehicle, not a sleigh like his boss had, but a black rickety old van. Santa had gotten it from his wife to keep in incognito. Now it belonged to his assistant. James watched him approach the driver's side door and then walked in the opposite direction, shivering as the snow felt heavier and his pajamas became wet. Come here, Krampus said, sounding as kind as he possibly could. But in all honesty, he still sounded like he could decapitate someone in an instant. Jeez. Waking up to him, James craned his head. Yes, sir? Let me take you home. James coughed a bit. I can walk home, thank you. Thank you, though. The demon turned to get into his vehicle. Then the wheels in James' brain started. Maybe he could help with his dad's drinking problem. He was quite big and scary looking. Maybe no one would pick on him if they knew he hung out with the Christmas demon himself. According to legend, Krampus wouldn't hurt someone who did nothing wrong. And as if he was on Krampus's list, James figured he would already be in agony. He spoke hastily. Sir, thanks. He then went to the passenger side. As he drove, the demon lit a cigarette and puffed. The back of the van was full of torture devices. Dry blood stained the floor. Dried blood stained the floor. The windshield wipers scraped off the falling snow. The sound of the engine droned. The smell of alcohol and smoke filled his nostrils. James kept his eyes to the ground, afraid of annoying Krampus. He did get a close look at the creature, while most kids wouldn't live to tell the tale. His body toned, which only added to his menace. His movements so swift and large, James really couldn't keep his eye off the driver. He was like nothing he had ever seen, and scarier than his imagination could conjure up. This all felt like some odd dream, but deep down, James knew that somehow he was sitting next to a legendary creature. A tad bit of glee filled his soul, feeling special for once in his life. Wow. That was a long story. Anyway, this story's a three-parter, so I'll be reading part 3 in tomorrow's video. But let me know if you guys have heard Krampus. And again, if you haven't seen the video I uploaded yesterday, I'll leave a link down below so you guys could go watch that. But anyway, that's going to be it for today's video. So if you're new here, hi, I'm Princess Peyton. Hit the red button to become your majesty and hit the bell notification so you're notified every time I upload a video. And I love you guys so much. You guys are the best human beings ever made. And you're the king of my heart and the song lyrics of Taylor Swift. And I will see you guys in tomorrow's video for part 3 of the Krampus series. Okay, love you. Bye. Mwah.